Hi guys, today I'm going to be walking you through your at-home touch-up kit, how to apply it, and how to mix it. So what comes in your touch-up kit? Protective cream, a black towel, gloves, an application brush, and two different things depending on what you're going to be using it for. So if you're just doing a touch-up, you're going to be receiving your color, which is 1 ounce, and it's going to have a number 1 on it. The developer will come labeled with a number 2. Now, if you're going to also be doing a pull through to refresh your ends, you're going to be using labeled 1A, and then the developer number 2A. So let's get started on how to mix it. I'm only going to mix what I'm going to use when I'm about to use it. So these cups are big enough, we don't have to pour it into anything else. So we're going to take the lid off of number 1. You want to leave the lid on as long as possible because the air will come in and begin to oxidize the color. And once that happens, you want to get it on your hair as soon as you possibly can. So we are going to pour the developer right into bowl number 1 with our color. And this color that you're going to receive is your custom formula that we use in the salon. So you're not guessing about how your result is going to be. And then we're just going to mix it. So you can see we've got the color and the developer all mixed up nicely together. So before I start my application, I'm going to go get changed into a button-up shirt, or I have one of the Bria Salon smocks, so I'm going to put one of those on. Okay, so we're ready to apply our color. I've changed. You can absolutely change before you mix the color if you think you're going to get held up or it might take you a little while to change, because once you mix the color with the developer, time is of the essence. You want to get it on right away. So I am going to take the towel that's in the kit and I'm going to put it around my shoulders. And any type of little clip you have is helpful. I'm just going to use one of these, but you can even use a bag clip at home. That's totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and take my protective cream, which is in this little jar. And I'm just going to really apply it just right on my hairline. I'm really trying not to get it on my hair. It's not going to completely block the color from absorbing, but you still want to make sure that you're not really saturating your hair with the protective cream. And make sure you really get around your ears. And again, this is the same protective cream we use on you in the salon. Okay, so that's done. So now we're ready to start our application. Okay, so I'm ready to start my application. I'm gonna make sure that my hair is parted where I wear it. So I always part my hair on the side. So I'm gonna put my gloves on. And make sure that you're in an area where if you drip a little color, you're not gonna be sad and have a stain on a nice countertop or something. You can always lay down an extra towel or something. So we're gonna take the color. We don't wanna have too much on our brush, but we wanna have enough that we can saturate our hair. So the best thing to do is just to hold your hair a little bit taut and just dab it on. I like to use the back tail part of the brush to help section. You can always have a spouse help you with this if they're bored and need something fun to do. Kids, I'm sure, would have fun, teenage daughters. So I'm just gonna go kind of far enough so that I know if my part moves around, I'm going to be able to still have coverage if the wind blows, if we're on one of our quarantine walks. Now I'm gonna come to the other side of my part. Be careful when you're holding this part taut, not to push this part here down into the hair that was already colored, because especially if you have any blonde highlights or anything happening through that, you can get an overlap and stain your highlights. If you're worried about staining your highlights, a great thing to do is to put a little conditioner on them before you start applying the color. The conditioner will help to protect the highlights from absorbing the hair color that you're putting on, but you still want to really try to avoid those areas. Notice I'm leaving out my hairline for now. Don't worry about the underneath. Don't worry about the back unless you have like a strong cowlick where you have gray. You can use a mirror and get back there. When we're out of this shelter in place, we will fix the back for you. Don't worry. Okay, so we're gonna kind of like just peel this back to the part line. Make sure everything's really well saturated. So now I'm gonna work on my hairline. So if you're like me, you have to wear glasses. Keep them on as long as you can. Wait until you have to do the sides here. So do this part last, this part of your face, okay? So now we're gonna take a section this way. And we wanna brush it away from our face, okay? This is not safe to get in your eyes. So please be really careful. Do not attempt to do your eyebrows. The thinner the sections, the better, because you're gonna have better saturation of the gray hair and the roots. So I wanna be careful not to get any on my skin. We have the protective cream there anyway, but it'll still stain you a little bit. So you also, especially around your hairline, make sure you have enough product on there. Because if the product is too thin, the grays will kind of pop their little heads out and not get colored very well. And we don't want that. Okay, so I have to take my glasses off. So I'm just gonna take a little face frame section right here. And again, brushing away from my face. I know this is everyone's areas where they really see the gray first, so take your time. Don't feel like you have to rush it. I'm gonna dab a little extra, again, just to make sure we have good coverage. Get your sideburns. Okay, and we'll come to this side, do the same thing. Remember to take off your jewelry. I'm wearing my diamond studs. They won't get stained. Pearls, any other type of soft gems, certain metals will react strangely with hair color. So it's best just to not have any jewelry on. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my glasses and just backwards make sure it looks like I've got everything covered well. It looks good to me. So I'm gonna set my timer now for 45 minutes. And if you're doing the ends of your hair, we're gonna mix that now because it's going to take you a little time to mix it and to get it applied. Also want to point out how much color we still have left. So this is an ample amount to do your touch-up. You can absolutely just toss this right in the trash, but if you want to do a little bit more of a thorough application, you're welcome to use all of it. I just didn't really need to use more than this, and for the video's time, I thought we would just keep it quick. So let's move on to mixing the ends. Okay, so now I'm done with my application of my roots. Whatever product I didn't use, I threw it out because it's not going to be good after this. So now we're going to mix it for our ends. So based on the amount of hair you have, the length of hair you have, will determine how much product we need to send home with you. Obviously, I have a lot of hair, but I'm just going to be doing just kind of the surface layer, and maybe if I have a few like little ends that I feel like are getting a little light. So this on your bottle, you're going to see 1A. That's the color. Okay, and then 2A is your developer. So I have a little funnel here. If you have a kitchen funnel at home that you could use, I think that would be a great idea, just to make sure that it doesn't go everywhere. Okay, so we're going to be pouring 2A into 1A, and again, I have my little funnel here just to make it easy. Let me wash that. So we're going to close this up nice and tight, and just don't shake it so vigorously, just swirl it around a little bit. Okay? So now we are ready to apply. So let's go do that. Okay, so we're gonna do our ends now. 2 ways you can do this. I know in the salon, usually we'll have you guys processing for about 25 minutes, then we come back and we do your ends. You can absolutely do that. You don't have to mix it right away. If you choose to though, that's totally okay. It's not gonna hurt your hair if it sits longer. This is the conditioning color glass that we use in the salon. You can see I've mixed it, see it's already beginning to oxidize. So once I mix it, I wanna put it on right away. So I'm just gonna do mine now because I let my ends fade really fast and I like to let it sit longer. But if you decide to wait, give it 20 minutes once your roots have processed, then mix your ends and then apply, and then that'll sit for an additional 20. But I think it's gonna take you guys a little while to apply this color since it's probably one of your first few times. So we'll just start it now. So everything's all mixed up. What I'm gonna do is, I'm mostly worried about the top section of my hair. You see the underneath still looks kind of nice and rich, but like this area, pretty much where I just did my roots, feels a little light and faded to me. So I'm just gonna put my hand underneath it, and I'm gonna squirt a little bit on, and I'm just gonna start working it in. Take your time and don't squirt too much because you'll have it everywhere. It's a little bit watery. I did put a thickener in this. I'll put a thickener in yours as well. So I'm just really working this through. I'm gonna take another small section right here. Again, I'm just gonna put my hand underneath it, squirt a little, work it in with my thumb. It's kind of nice in the front because you can kind of see what you're doing a little bit easier than in the mirror. Don't take too thick of sections because you'll have dry areas in the middle of your hair, the middle of part of the section. Check and make sure that you have enough product still, because you don't want to get halfway through and then check your bottle and say, uh-oh, I am already out. So make sure you just start with the areas that are really important to you. This side I might need to switch hands. There's always one side that's gonna feel a little bit awkward. Do you see how this color is changing as I'm working with it? That's the oxidation. That's when the color and the developer go together. So you want that happening in your hair, not necessarily in the bottle. Not that it's bad that it's oxidizing in the bottle, it's gonna happen, but that's just to show you why you need to get it on quickly. Okay, this looks a little light right here too. You can just smush it in to your ends if you want to. Okay, so I feel like that's pretty good. I'm just gonna give it a little extra here on the top just to make sure I have the surface area covered really well. If you tend to have hair color that gets dark around your hairline, because most people's hair is finer hair, really try to avoid putting any of this anywhere but anywhere in here. Just avoid it altogether. Just, you saw how I just kind of grabbed the ends and just squirted down here. Just leave that part out. So I feel like my application is pretty good right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to remove my gloves and I'm just gonna clean up my hairline. So I have a little tissue. I just like to wrap it around my finger like this. Just like that. And just make sure I don't have any unnecessary stains. And clean up any little spills. So now I'm gonna finish processing. I still have 30 minutes left on my timer. So you guys can see that it took me about 10 minutes to apply my end. So I imagine it's gonna take you a little bit longer. So I would just recommend most of you just to apply as soon as you're done with your roots. I'm gonna let it process for 30 minutes and then I'm gonna jump in the shower. I'm gonna shampoo my hair with Young Again from Kevin Murphy because that's my favorite, and use the Young Again mask and the Young Again conditioner. And this is gonna last me probably about 3 to 4 weeks. Your hair grows about a ½ inch a month. So by that time, if we're still in the shelter in place, we'll continue to sell the kits, but hopefully not. Hopefully we're back and we'll look forward to seeing all of you in the salon and getting back to some normal life here. All right, take care, you guys. Thanks so much.